You don't need to be sat on the floor like I am. You can be sat on your bed or on a sofa, somewhere comfortable. And then just start to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a moment to feel yourself arrive in the space. Begin to bring awareness into your body. Notice how your body is feeling today. There's no right or wrong way for you to be feeling. I want you to try and do this without any judgment, especially if there is pain or discomfort. Acknowledging that it's there, but not feeling like it's a failing or a problem. And if there is anything that feels uncomfortable or painful today, just practice mindfully. Every pose that I offer you is an invitation. Nothing needs to be forced or pushed. Everything wants to feel really, really comfortable. So as you become more aware of your body, start to notice the movement of your body with each breath. Where are you most aware of this movement? Is it in the shoulders? Across your upper chest? Is it into your rib cage at the front, the sides, or the back? Maybe it's down into your tummy. Or anywhere else. As you notice the movement of the body with your breath, notice the quality of your breath. Is it fast or slow? Deep or shallow? Does each breath feel easy and comfortable? Or is there any tightness or restriction? And again, there's no right or wrong answer to this. You're just observing your breath. And what I want you to focus on today with your breath is trying to make it feel as easy and as comfortable as possible, whatever that might mean for you. So we're not trying to control the breath. I don't want you to hold the breath. I don't want you to try and force longer breaths. Really just allow it to be exactly how it wants to be today. And at times in the meditations, I might guide you to see if a longer breath would feel nice, but it's always an offering. There's nothing you have to do at any point. So you can release your awareness of your breath and then start to drop your chin towards your chest. Let your shoulders stay soft, tall through the spine. All the movement comes from your head and your neck. And then start to roll your head side to side. The range of movement is totally up to you. So you might stick with a semicircle or something even smaller. You might take the head all the way around in a full circle. Start to notice how it feels. Is there a stretch? Are there any nice clicks or pops going on? Do you find that tension starts to creep into your back and shoulders? And if it does, can you allow it to release and soften again when you bring your attention to it? Good, just a couple more rolls round. And next time that your chin lands on your chest, you can leave it there. As you exhale, allow the shoulders to soften forwards, drop the belly back, rounding through your spine. And as you inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze, little arch in the spine. Exhaling to round forwards. Inhaling to lift. Just move with your breath. The range of movement is entirely up to you. So I'm keeping mine quite small today. I've got some really intense back pain happening. So I know that my body is only going to want to do small movements. And I'm going to try and honour that. You could be doing this lying down as well if sitting doesn't work for you. Just gently starting to undulate through the spine. You might bring the arms in if you're sitting, so inhaling, taking the arms wide, exhaling, palms together, or give yourself a hug. If you're lying down, you might choose to inhale the arms overhead and exhale to bring them back down. We're going to do 3 more breaths like this. Focus in on any sensations. Really see if you can keep this comfortable. I don't want any strain, any pain. And then at the end of your next exhale, you can relax your hands into your lap and just gently sit your way up again. Inhale and squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale, squeeze them down towards the ground. So moving with the breath, if that feels comfortable, inhaling to squeeze up, exhaling to draw down. So again, any kind of size of movement that you want. This could be really tiny, just little shoulder shrugs. What we don't often appreciate is the fact that smaller movements sometimes take more effort and control than bigger movements. And if they feel more comfortable, then that's always the best choice. Good. And then let your shoulders relax all the way down. So if you're sitting, we're going to come to lie on our backs. You can have one of your pillows under your head, or maybe a blanket under your head. It all depends on what kind of props you have with you today. You can chop and change them as you need to. So I'm going to do a blanket under my head. Just make sure that you can all still see me. So as you come down onto your back, have your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Now, how you position your feet is up to you. I like to have the feet fairly wide apart. You might choose to drop the knees in towards each other just for a moment while I'm talking. Allow your spine to rest comfortably on the ground, so you can have a nice little wiggle through the pelvis, resettle the shoulders. Hands could rest onto your body or they could come out to the sides. And then gaze goes straight up. So if you've got a clip or a hair tie or anything, get it out of the way so it feels nice and comfy. And we're just going to start with some knee waves before we settle in. So you can start really small with this. I like to just do a really little wave of my knees side to side. And then as you start to warm your lower back up, then you can make the movements a little bit bigger if that feels nice. And just breathing freely throughout. You do have the option of moving with the breath if you enjoy that. So if you do want to, you could exhale as you lower the knees and inhale to bring them back up. And just moving in ways that feel comfortable for you. So this is really nice for easing out the low back and getting just a little bit of stretch and softness across the belly. And remember, at any point you can make the movement smaller again. There's nothing that says that it has to keep getting bigger just because that's how you started. Good. Then coming back to stillness. You can just resettle your spine again if it feels like it's moved. And give your right knee a little hug in. Now, it can come towards the chest, but if that feels tight, like I don't really like it on my tummy, so I bring the knee out to the side a little bit further, and then I hug it in more towards that right hand side. So there's loads of room for my tummy to relax, and it's not sort of digging in, especially if I'm feeling bloated. When you've got your knee hugged in, you can have a little roll through that right ankle. And back the other way. And then let your foot relax. Just give your leg a gentle move around in the hip socket. So again, doesn't need to be big. It can be these lovely small little movements. If it already feels like a really sort of comfortable position or a little stretch, you can leave it as it is. We're just going to do this for a breath or two. Being mindful of how it feels. Like we often carry a lot of tension through the hip sockets. You might find as well that you have like pelvic floor tightness. So just be mindful of how it feels. Moving as much or as little as you want to. And then we're going to relax that right leg back down, foot to the floor, knee bent. And bring your left leg in. So again, it can come into the tummy if you like that and it feels good, or you can take it further out to the left hand side, leaving lots of room for the belly. And then have a little roll through your left ankle this time. And back the other way. And then let the foot relax and start to move the leg around in the hip socket. And don't be surprised if one side feels really different to the other. Quite often find that one side will feel tighter. We're all very, very wonky. It doesn't matter who you are, what your life experience is, what your body is like. There's always going to be something that's a bit wonky. Good, just being really aware of how it feels, keeping the movement nice and comfy. A little bit of release through the hip socket into the pelvic floor. And then release the foot back down to the ground. Stretch both legs away from you. Oh, my pillows are in the way. Put my feet on my pillows. You might like to have a little wiggle of your toes. If you want to, you can take the arms up overhead, full body stretch. Nice and satisfying. And then release the hands back down onto your body. So we're going to come into our first restorative pose. I'd like you to bend your right knee and bring your foot flat to the floor. Now you're going to want your pillows or your yoga bolster if you have one, and they're going to come in alongside this bent knee. So what's going to happen is as you lie here, you tuck the pillows or the bolster in nice and tight, and then allow the knee to fall out to the side. I'm going to change angles again so you can see this a bit clearer. You're going to have one leg straight and the other knee bent. Won't shove my foot right at the camera. And then this right knee is going to drop out to the side onto the support of your cushions. So you want this to feel comfy. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. You want it to feel comfy. If there's a big stretch through the inner thigh, then that's probably not going to be comfy. I want you to make it so there's actually no stretch at all coming through this inner thigh and into like the crease of the hip. I want it to feel really, really just fully supported. So if that means that you need to like double over your pillow, or that you need to put an extra blanket in or another pillow or anything like that, put as many in as you need to. Your knee can be like right up in the air, as long as it feels supported. That's all I'm interested in. Mine just looks really flat because I have hypermobility in my hips, so it just drops down to the side without much effort. Pros and cons to that. So make sure you feel really, really comfortable, and then once you do, just start to close your eyes. I'm going to give you a moment just to get yourself settled. So your eyes can be closed or your gaze can be soft. This is a supine tree pose, Supta Vrikshasana. And what it's helping us to do is get some gentle opening through the front of our right hip socket and into the inner side of the thigh. And this pose is just a really nice one. You can do this with both legs. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me demonstrate it with both legs. The difference is that this is just a bit more gentle for our bodies. It's a little bit easier for your body to just have one knee dropping out to the side than both at the same time. It also means that if you're new to this, you can use all of the pillows and the blankets and the bolsters on this one side to feel fully supported, rather than unintentionally splitting your props between two legs and then not getting as much support as you would like. And the placement of your foot, so your right foot is kind of resting against your straight leg. It can be as high or as low as you want it to be. So yours might be resting like right down onto the calf or even towards the ankle. Mine's resting about knee height. That's what's comfortable for me. So the shape of the pose, again, is really dictated by what feels good for your body. There's no particular way that it needs to look. And if at any point you stop being comfortable in this pose, just straighten your right leg out. Pause for a moment if there's anything else that you want to do, if you want to hug your knees into your chest and have a rock side to side, or just you can move straight onto the other side before I tell you, that's fine too. You only stay in the pose as long as you're comfortable. So while we're here, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about restorative yoga, and you can listen or you can just ignore me, you can tune me out, and you can just find some comfort in your body for a moment. So the reason that we want our knee here to be as supported as possible is that when we allow our bodies to be fully supported, they're more likely to relax. So having all of the pillows actually enables softening through here, through the hip socket, the inner thigh, even across the pelvis and into the belly. What we sometimes forget is how interconnected everything is. So like, yes, all we're doing here is moving one leg out to the side, but this is going to be a gentle opening all the way across the lower abdomen. And if you're like me and some of your organs are stuck together, you might be very aware of how one single movement in one part of your body can really affect a load of other areas. So I might be preaching to the choir a little bit here, but you can see where I'm coming from. So again, even more reason why we want this to feel really, really supported, because I'm not looking for you to pull everything out of shape inside you. I want you to feel held and supported so that you can start to release some of that tension that you're probably holding. You might find that it immediately feels nice. You might find that it takes you time to be able to settle into these kinds of poses, and that's okay. The trick is always to just do what feels good and then stop, even if you find that is 30 seconds and that then you're going to try again another time. I'd much rather that you did too little than too much. So if it feels comfortable for you, we're going to take 2 more breaths here. You might choose to rest your hands onto your body and just feel the gentle movement of each breath. And then slowly start to straighten your right leg, stretch it away from you, and just take a moment here. Notice if there's any difference in sensation between your left and right sides. If you want to do any kind of counter movement, such as rolling side to side, hugging the knees into your chest, you are very welcome to. And then just whenever you feel ready, you're going to take your props, move them over to the other side, and then we're going to bend the left knee this time, foot flat to the floor, and then allowing that left knee to drop out to the side this time. Now don't be surprised if you need a different amount of props on one side from the other. And I want you to treat each side differently if that feels right. So you don't have to do the same on both sides. I think it's a bit of a myth in yoga, this idea that everything needs to match, but it doesn't. What we're looking for here is comfort through the tummy, through the inner thigh and into your hip socket. So if you need a bigger support, pop in an extra bolster, an extra pillow or blanket, and really allow it to feel nice and soft. And I would always have too many props as opposed to not enough. I love a huge amount of props. It's always my favourite thing. So really listen to your body. And then just whenever you are comfortable and settled, remembering that you can move out of the pose at any time that you want to. Just start to close your eyes or soften your gaze. You might bring your hands to rest onto your body again, whether that is onto the rib cage or down towards the tummy, or even across the front of the pelvis. I sometimes find that it's helpful in poses like this, where we are focusing on this lower abdomen area into the hip socket. It can feel really nice to actually rest your hands onto the area that you're trying to soften. wherever your hands might be, just start to notice the warmth of your palms. For the gentle weight of your hands. And as they rest here, just think of the palms getting warmer and warmer. And that warmth gently spreading into your body. And particularly if you do have any existing pain and discomfort that isn't associated with the pose. And just placing your hands even in those areas. So for me, mine's all on my left, so I might move my left hand around towards my left side a bit more. Just thinking of that warmth through the palm of my hand, the undersides of my fingers. Feeling the gentle heat radiating into my body. You can send thoughts or intentions with this warmth if you like. Whether that's a gentle encouragement for your body to soften and release. Whether it's an acknowledgement of your pain. That you're aware it's there, but you don't need it right now. You don't need to be reminded. And as you breathe, just seeing if you can keep softening through your left hip, allowing the left leg to feel heavy and relaxed. And we're going to take 3 more breaths here. All the while, sending that warmth, those thoughts or intentions into your body. And with your next exhale, stretch your left leg along the ground. And just letting the legs relax. You can just stay here for a breath with heavy legs, or if you'd like to, you might bend the knees and wave them side to side, or hug your knees into your chest and wave them side to side. Just really listening to what your body would prefer, and if it's something completely different from what I'm suggesting, then you're really welcome to do that too. Good. Then come back to stillness. Pop your feet onto the ground if they were lifted, bending the knees if the legs were straight. So the next pose that we're going to do will be supported bridge. Now for this one, you're going to take pillows or a rolled up blanket. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways and you can decide what's going to be best for you. So I'm going to start off with just one pillow. And what I'm going to do is pop it just between my bum and my heels. Then what I'm going to do is press into my feet, lift my hips and slide the pillow underneath so that I can rest my whole bottom and pelvis onto it. You can do this with 1 pillow or 2 pillows or 3 pillows, however many pillows that you want. If you're doing it with a blanket, then you're going to take your blanket and roll it up into a sort of sausage shape. And the nice thing with the blanket roll is you can decide how big or small you want the roll to be. So I'm going to go with one that's kind of a medium sort of a size. And then you put it in exactly the same way. So you're going to lie on your back, pop the blanket roll between your bottom and your heels, lift the bottom, slide the blanket up. Now, the difference here is that you've got to be a little bit more accurate with the blanket placement. So if you're using a rolled up blanket, or if you do have a yoga bolster, then it's going to go between your tailbone and your low back. So if I point, my tailbone is like in here, and my low back, you can maybe see I've got like quite a bit of an arch in my spine. So my low back is in here where I'm putting my hand in. So my bolster is sitting in this space just here. Now, if that doesn't feel right for you, you could change your blanket so that it's more of a fold rather than a roll. So maybe it's a little bit more like this, so you've got a little bit more surface area. So again, you don't have to be as accurate. It wants to feel comfy. I'm like a stuck record. It wants to feel comfy. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, try shuffling the bolster or the blanket up or down. So it might come up towards your shoulders, or you might shuffle it down towards your heels. What you really don't want is for it to be right here in your low back, because you'll find that you've just got this huge arch through the spine, and it's not going to feel very comfortable after a while. It feels like that's where you'd put it because you've got like the gap for it, so to speak, but it's really unlikely to feel good. So as always, if anyone has any worries, pop it in the chat for me, or come on and I'll have a look for you. But yeah, I like it with the pillows best, to be honest. If you've got pillows, use the pillows rather than the blanket, because it's just going to feel comfier, it's going to feel softer, more supported. And then with the legs, you've got a couple of options. You can either walk the feet further apart and then drop your knees in towards each other like this. Or you can, if you've not got a huge amount underneath the hips, you can just stretch the legs away from you. If you've got like 3 or 4 pillows, then I would probably not stretch the legs out, just because it's going to put you in a bit more of a back bend. And if you've got any kind of pain and stuff going on, it might just aggravate it by opening too much through the body. I'm never a big fan of stretching my legs out in supported bridge. But remember, it is your body, it's not my body. So, when you've got your pillows in, you could have knees dropping together, or you could stretch out one or both legs. So really just check in and see what feels best for you. And you can change it. There's nothing to say that you have to stay in this particular pose. And once you've found the one that feels good for you, remembering that you can come out at any point if it's feeling tight or uncomfortable or painful. And maybe if you do come out early, lift the hips, slide your props down so that they can be underneath your knees instead, and then just relax here with them underneath your knees. So wherever you are, just starting to settle in again. You might choose again to rest the hands onto the front of your body, maybe enjoying the warmth of the palms, or if you really like a little bit of chest or shoulder opening, you could bring the arms up overhead. Now, if you do this, only do it if your whole arm and the hand is in contact with the ground. If there's any kind of gap and your arms are sort of dangling, whether it's just the hands or like
the elbow and then the fingertips are touching, don't do this version. Only do it if you are 100% supported here. And that's just because if you're left dangling, what's going to happen is it's going to cause more tension coming through the arm, the shoulder, the chest, the upper back, and we really don't want that. That's the exact opposite of what we're looking for today. So, everything fully supported, eyes are closed or gaze is soft. And just start to take a few more conscious breaths, remembering that the breath wants to feel easy and comfortable. Maybe noticing the movement of your body with each breath. Let your tummy be soft. Check that you aren't holding any tension in your belly. Softness in your shoulders, your upper back. Become aware of the support beneath your body, your feet, legs, your arms and hands and head. Notice these points of connection between yourself and the support beneath you. And then each time that you exhale, see if you can release your body into this support just a little bit more. Your body is fully held exactly where it is. Each exhale invites more softness. There's nothing that you need to be holding on to. Your body is fully supported. You can release it down into the support beneath you. And when you're ready, just starting to bring a little more awareness back to your body. You might gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Give your bottom a little bit of a squeeze. Maybe a gentle wave of the knees side to side. If you had your legs straight, start to bend them. If your arms were overhead, start to bring them back down beside your body. You might choose to gently hug your knees in towards your chest. and have a little rock. If you are on a bolster or a blanket, this might not feel as comfortable, so maybe you just want to wave the knees side to side without lifting the feet. And then just when you feel ready, when you feel like you've woken your body back up a little, press into your feet, squeeze your bottom, lift your hips, and slide your pillows or your bolster or your blanket down so that it rests underneath your knees. You can just stay here for a moment with the pillows underneath your knees. Notice any sensations that are moving through your body. Notice if your body is asking for any other little bits of movement before we come to our final stillness. This is our final pose of the session. So if you feel that you want it to be something different, you're welcome to change just to have pillows underneath your head and your legs extended. You might move onto your side or your tummy, just whatever feels most comfortable for you and your body. If you've got any extra layers that you would like to pop on, if you've got a blanket, if anyone uses eye masks, you can get yourself extra comfy and settled. And I'm going to walk you through a meditation. Now, if this doesn't suit you for any reason, you could tune out my voice. You could put me on mute for the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes and just relax in your Shavasana. But if it feels good, you can just gently follow me along. So where we're going in our meditation today is we're going to go to a wood or a forest. And I want you to know that you can leave this forest at any moment and you would immediately be back in a place that you love, whether it's your own home, a loved one's home, somewhere where you feel safe and comfortable. So all the while that you're walking in the woods, in an instant, in a click of your fingers, you could be back home, wherever you feel safe. So with that in mind, start to walk through your forest. I want you to notice what the time of year is. Is it summertime? Perhaps the sun is shining, but the dappled leaves are just giving you a little bit of shade so you don't get too hot. Maybe it's autumn and there's a little bit of crisp chill in the air. Maybe it's wet underfoot. Maybe it's winter time and it's really chilly. You can see your breath in the air. And the sky might be blue, but that's not making it any warmer. Or perhaps it's springtime and the air is just starting to warm up. You can see the sunshine, but there's a few clouds. And just notice what time of year it is for you.
And then notice what the trees look like. What kind of forest is it? Perhaps it's the kind of forest where all the trees are closely packed in together. Maybe it's a pine forest. And it's green no matter what time of year it is. Maybe it's more of a wood. So in the summertime it's a lush, leafy green. Or if it's autumn, then the leaves are reds and golds. A little bit of brown underfoot. Perhaps it's winter time and all the trees are in their beautiful skeletons. No leaves to be seen. Just a clear view up towards the sky. Or perhaps it's spring and there's leaf buds forming. Maybe some of the trees have flowers. Just notice what the wood looks like for you today. And as you walk through, become aware of what you're walking on. Is it grass? And if it is it short and well kept? Is it long and wild with flowers in amongst it? Perhaps it's rocky underfoot. Perhaps there's a trodden pathway which is just mud. Maybe there's puddles that you like to walk through, or puddles that you need to walk around. No matter what the weather is, you are completely comfortable. You're dressed just right for the weather. So you're not too hot, not too cold. Dressed just in a way so you can enjoy the weather that you have. And as we walk through the forest, we want to be present and enjoy the sights, the sounds, the smells of the forest. But sometimes we find that an outside thought comes in, something that we don't really need right now, that's not relevant to our present moment. And if that happens, I don't want you to think that you've done anything wrong. It's completely normal for this to happen. And what we're going to do when you notice that thought, you're going to turn it into a tree. You can imagine exactly what the tree looks like. And it's going to spring up just a little way away from you. And as you walk through the forest, any time that a thought emerges that isn't what you need right now, I want you to turn it into a tree. And it's totally okay if every tree looks different, or if every tree looks the same. This forest is a place that you can visit over and over. And as you walk through it, perhaps you notice that there are areas where the trees are closer together, more tightly packed into copses. And perhaps this is a place where you've been having a lot of thoughts all together. But then maybe you come into a few clearings bright open expanses where you can see the sky, where you could lie down and enjoy the forest exactly as it is. It's important to remember that the tightly packed forest is just as lovely as the one with the open spaces. There's no bad kind of forest. It's all just really beautiful. And so it doesn't matter that as you walk through it, there are places where there are more trees, places where you've had more thoughts. It's nice just to know that you've acknowledged it and chosen to continue with your walk through the forest. So we're going to be here in our forest just for another minute or so. I'm going to leave you in peace before I bring you back to enjoy the walk in your forest. Imagining how it looks, how it sounds. Can you hear the birds? Can you hear the rustle in the undergrowth of tiny creatures? What does it smell like? Does it smell like earth and grass? Can you smell flowers? What can you feel? Maybe you pause to pick up a leaf off the ground, to rub your hands in the grass. Immerse yourself in your forest. And we're going to leave our forest now, remembering that you can come back anytime you like. Start to settle your awareness back into your body. Noticing the support beneath you. Feeling the movement of your body with each breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe take a full body stretch or hug your knees in towards your chest. And then however's best for you, bring yourself up to a comfortable seat again, keeping your eyes closed or a soft gaze. welcome to have your hands in your lap, or you might choose to rest the hands over your heart space. We'll take 3 breaths here, through your nose if it's comfortable, and sighing them out through your mouth. And when you're ready, you can release your hands. Start to open your eyes and bring yourself back into the room. Thank you all very much for practicing with me today.